Okay, we're going to try this again. Got booted off. We're going to try this again. Got booted off. I apologize, guys. I guess the phone case that I have my phone in was causing my phone to overheat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it closer to my AC here. So if you hear that grinding in the background, that's what it is. So if you were still with me from the first part, now what I was trying to explain is you don't take them back until quick recap. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back. I'm sorry about that. And what I was trying to explain is you don't take him back until he shows you the process of which he's changed himself. Because if he's not going to include you in that process, now, what I was getting to when I was explaining to about him giving his emotion towards yours and then his strength in engulfing both of you. Men and women are designed differently for a reason. And some of the strengths that we have as different individuals, different creatures, when fused together, the bond that we have together becomes something that lends itself to each other. Hello, hello, hello. And what I mean by that is his strength and his ability to deal with certain things. When that emotion is out there, his strength will be able to keep you two in place, not physically. I'm talking about emotionally, spiritually, and bonding in a relationship. And then you, being an emotional creature that you are, will be able to understand and register when he's giving out that emotion, because it'll bond you together when you see that the love that he has for you or for the relationship is there when that emotion comes out. And I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. And ladies, you know exactly what I'm about to say. Is you see a side of him when he's messed up and you're now kicking him out or ending the relationship that you wish you would see during the relationship. That pain in his eyes, that yes, there's always room for second chances. Without question, there's room for second chances. But this is what I'm getting at. If they earned the second chances, brother, and if the brothers deserve the second chance, this is what I'm talking about. He does not deserve a second chance if he can't come back and show you the process of which he was able to renew himself to be a different person for you, the woman. Because for me just coming back and saying, ooh, take me back, I might just be lonely. But if I say take me back, I've changed what I was doing. I've changed how I'm doing it. I'm changing where I've worked. I'm changing how I'm doing with my kids. I'm changing my whole faith-based situation. And I need you to be part of that. Now that's different, because now you're inviting a woman to come back and be a part of what's going on with you, not so much just taking you back from where you were. So there's definitely rules for second chances, because the second chance should be different from the first if everything was done correctly. That's really the hope. So the other part to this is now when he does come back, if he has those things in place, you now can have the conversations that you might not have been able to have the first time you were in relationships together. Hey, baby doll. There's my little queen and my big queen. And so it's very important, because I speak to and talk to a lot of women. And one of the first questions I say is, why'd you take him back? Well, he was this, he was emotional, he didn't have a place to stay, and, you know, he said we were going to work on it, and, you know, he started giving me a little bit of money, and stop. You don't take that joker back until he can show you that not only is his focus different, his role for you in his life is different. You can't put him back on in your relationship and he assumed the same position he took when he was getting kicked out the door. He has to come back and be your king. He has to show you that he is that king, and has to realize to himself and then to you that he should have been that king. Yes, the same rules apply back to her, but the first thing is how you present yourself. It is also why I've said to many a dude, if she can't understand what being a queen is, leave. Leave. You don't have time to try to teach her how to be a queen. She was supposed to understand what royalty was when you showed up as a king. Who got time to train somebody? That's what their parents were supposed to do. Let's keep it real. I'm not, my wife had talents before I even got with her. Her talents is what attracted me to her. So together we become something fierce because her talents mixed with my talents is tremendous. So yes, brother, it applies to both, but most men don't know how to be real kings. So how can you even question if you're with a queen when you've never actually been taught by another king, because most men don't have men in their lives? Now that's still no excuse, because you can go learn how to be a king. I learned how to be a king through a lot of pain, and a lot of trial, and a lot of error. So when I tell people I'm happily divorced and happily married, it is because I had to screw up one marriage to understand how deftly my life has to depend on this wife right here. I had to screw up once, yes, but I wasn't going to screw up a second time. And I'm not getting married a third time. So God bless all the people who get married 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Listen. That's what works for you. I'm not doing this again. This is it. This is it. There's only 2 places I'm going to see her, now and when we get to the pearly gates, whichever one of us get there first. The other one will wait for the other one. I'm just saying.
I ain't going to wait for you.
You ain't going to wait for me? All right, well, go ahead and hang out. I'll be there when I get there. See you when you get there. We'll hang out. We'll party there. That's my wife. My lovely wife. But this is what it has to be. So you don't take him back. And then what kills me is, there are billions of people on this planet. Why are you wasting your time with that dude? Because I had a baby? Okay, that's the result of an action. Were you bonded when that child was committed? Or were y'all just having sex? There's a difference. See, if he lied to you and you thought the bonding was there, you need to heal from that first, because that's devastating. And I've been through that. It's also why I wrote about it in my book, From Gigolo to Jesus. I had became that dude to a lot of women, and I try to apologize to all of them, because I didn't realize how devastating what I was trying to do with the lies I was telling. This is why when I say I owe so many women, hold on, baby. That's my daughter telling me drive the car. See, that's the baby princess telling the king what to do. Anyway. But the idea was, when I'm going through that now, the manipulation runs deep. Yes. But understand this, a person can't manipulate what you don't allow them to manipulate. You put the brakes on and control you. You stop it and say, wait a minute. No one can take advantage of you unless you let them. And that's the one thing when I go out here now and I say I owe sisters, I do. So one of the first things I do in trying to help sisters get through the foolishness that a lot of brothers are going to try to run on you, and trust me, I understand the game deeply. The first thing that a pimp, and that's the mentality, is going to try to do is he has to pimp your thoughts. He has to get you to believe that what he's peddling is better for you than what you know about yourself. Cut that. He is supposed to assist you. He is supposed to help you grow and to be a better woman. Not you be a better woman for him. Be a better woman, period. Because if he made a good choice, you're going to be a good woman to him. He is not supposed to groom you. If he's using terms like that, I'm trying to show you how to be a better... Stop. You're not that woman's father. He is supposed to accept you as you are, and the two of you grow together. If he's now saying we, check how many times he says you or I. It should be we, us. Listen to what he says. That's another thing that a lot of folks don't pay attention to with a lot of pimps. They don't listen to the language that they're using. They don't listen to the mind control messages that they're sending subliminally to your emotional state as a woman, hoping to gain leverage. That's why you don't let that cat back until he shows you his process of reinvention. And in what role do you play in getting that person back into your life? And if you're not healed yet, then just say, I'm not ready yet. KL, come on, mommy. See, my daughter knows I'm on the phone. That's why she's getting extra loud. I love her. But I'm serious. KL, come on, baby. KL, shh. You want to talk? Go ahead, here. Here you go. Come on. Because I know that's what you want. You got it. Here. Look, that's what I figured. As soon as I turned the camera on, she stopped singing.
You're not going to sing your
See?
song?
Look.
Sing your song.
That's what I thought. She see, and I love that. She jealous of her daddy. Look, now you hear her singing, right? If she think daddy's attention is anywhere else but on her, now she back here singing. No, but seriously, guys, and again, and this is, and before I go, I want to really share this with you. Do not allow him back because he seems emotional. That is a prey on your emotional state. Stand your ground. Stand your ground and be comfortable with being all by yourself. What I was saying earlier is there's billions of people on this planet. Just because you got with one loser, billions. Understand what billions is. There's a man out there waiting for you right where you are right now, who knows that with you, the two of you can become something greater than you could separately. You won't meet that man. And gentlemen, if you're watching, you won't meet that woman if you're staying and trying to fix someone who doesn't understand that they're broken. Sometimes you have to look at them and go, why am I with you? And once you make that designation, let them go. Or if you have let them go, do not let them back in. Do not let them back in. Because I guarantee you it's going to hurt worse the second time. I had to make that decision with my ex-wife, and I put it in the book. But we had got back together, had a little tete-a-tete, figured, being physical was a way to try to rekindle things. And I was sitting on the edge of the bed, I realized, you know what? This was whack. And if I come back here, this is not going to get better. So I decided at that moment, I said, you know what? We can't do this no more. We had been apart 5 or 6 months. Thank you. No problem, brother. I appreciate you. And I've been trying to reach you, man. You got to hit me up. We got to talk. And I had sat on the edge of the bed and I said to myself, we can't do this no more. And I said to her, listen, we're not going to rock like this no more. We just going to stay separated. This not going to work. And she said, what you mean? I was like, it's not going to work. I'm not feeling this. And at that moment, here came the venom. So I'm not even good enough to be your whore then, huh? And I had to smile and said, if that's the way you take it, that's fine, but we can't do this. And what I realized was that to try to go back and fix what I knew was broken, when the person that I was with was broken because of me, how about your kids? The kids are something separate. You take care of your kids, whether you with that person or not. You take care of the children because that's a separate responsibility. They should never be brought into the picture and even part of the consideration for the relationship. Your children are the responsibility of both parents, and you two have the responsibility to work with each other in reference to the kids. Now, if you have issues with him and he has issues with you and vice versa, you need to work that out first before you put the kids in the mix. But at the end of the day, the children are a separate responsibility that have to be dealt with and have to be taken care of. But you cannot use them as the reason why you're together. You cannot use them as the reason why you're still there. You cannot use them as the reason why the two of you are trying to make it work. Because the love I have for my children is nothing compared to the love I have for my woman. And it's in that order. I love God, I love my woman, I love my children. But I'm not going to love them the same way, and I'm not going to react to them the same way. So you two don't have to be together to be great parents. You do not have to be. You have to be open and understanding of each other's situation to be great parents, because your children are going to be floating between those two situations. They should have a two-family home. What they need is based on what you put into place. We all need to be in a nice two-parent situation. But if that's not what you and him put into place, you got to deal with whatever you put into place. Remember, your children were brought here by however you conceived them. No matter who's watching this, no matter who's listening to me, only you and that man, you and that woman created those children. So if y'all now are no longer in a relationship, well, then you're going to have a two-home situation, and you're going to have to work those parameters out to the best of your ability. And if you cannot do that, then you need to get counseling. You need to get assistance. You need to talk to. It's not a good thing if two parents are fighting. Oh, yes, without question. But that's why you have to base it where you are. My situation, when I left my ex-wife and I had to sit down and talk to my sons, one of the first things I said to my sons is, okay, Daddy is going to live here. You are going to stay here with Mommy. You're going to come with me every other weekend, and I will still be here during the week. My youngest son, who was 4 at the time, my oldest son was 8, said, well, Daddy, how's that going to work? I said, you're going to have 2 Christmases? You're going to have 2 birthdays. You're going to spend some time with me. You're going to spend some time with Mommy. And I'll always be here if you need me, whether you need to call me or whatever. And the thing that I did with my children being that young when I left is that the weekends that were my weekends, I never missed those. I don't care who I was laying down with. I don't care what I was hoeing, whatever I was doing. Those weekends I was with my children were for my children. I didn't miss those weekends under any circumstances because they didn't ask for the mom and dad to be apart. So I was not going to interrupt their time because of what I was doing for me. And if I traveled, I set my travel time around the weeks that I wasn't going to have them, and I got back so I could get them each weekend. And only in rare cases did I actually ask the mom, can we switch weekends and vice versa? But other than that, I kept to that. I made sure that everything that I was supposed to do from a distance was done. And when my kids were with me, my kids are with me. I didn't take my kids, we're going to travel here, you're going to be up under this chick, that chick. No, my kids with me, that's your time with daddy, we're going to do our thing. Now my children are 20 and 24, about to be 25 and 21. We're great. It is their mom who has had issues, so they have some of the same issues with their mom now that I had 16 years ago. Because she hasn't moved forward, but I can't do anything for her but pray for her and let it go. Long time ago. And actually, I talk about that in my book too. You can't heal the person that you hurt. Leave them alone. Ask for an apology. If they don't accept it, fine. Pray for them and leave it alone. You can't keep trying to heal the person because you've gotten yourself to a better place. Leave them alone. Let them find their healing. Do your job as a parent. If they grow to hate you because you got there before they did, has nothing to do with you. Now, if it starts to affect the relationship with the children, that's a different scope. Now you're going to have to maybe bring legal situation into it, but we can talk about that at a different time. But what you have to do, ladies, do not let that man, and gentlemen, do not let that woman back into your life until you can see what that process is. It's just so many questions. And do you feel that will effectively have an impact later in life? Everything has an impact later in life, but for it to impact positively, it has to be done correctly at the beginning. The foundation of what you put in place has to be solid, and those kids will grow accordingly. But you got to check yourself. My sons is fine. One is about to graduate from college. They both work 2 jobs. The other one is going back to college, and they're fine. They don't have a bunch of babies. They're not out here. Well, I think they're running with the women, but listen, they get that from their dad, but they're not making a bunch of babies, and they're responsible dudes. I've never had to go pick them up from no precinct, and I've done everything I could to keep them from being the dude that I used to be by being honest with them about the dude that I used to be. They understand why I'm not with their mother. I didn't sugarcoat that, and I didn't hide it. And when their mom would act a fool, I would make sure that I shielded them from it, and I took the brunt because I'm a grown man. I can deal with that. Don't put it on the kids. So now my kids are well adjusted. And here's the one thing that men that are watching this go, please understand this. Just do what you're supposed to do, and your kids will see the truth in time. When I've counseled men, I said sometimes you may have to give up 15, 16, 17 years to have the next 45 with your children. My children now at 24 and 21, they don't even listen to anything that their mom puts into place over foolishness because they simply understand. Dad ain't never been what you saying. Understand that. KL, Daddy's on the phone. Thank you, darling. But that's what it is. Your foundation, whatever you put in place with those kids at the beginning, hold to it. Don't tell your children you're going to be there. Don't tell the children you're going to make sure they go see their dad, and then because you got mad at something he did, no, you can't go see your father. Don't make them pawns. You'll pay for it. If you're ready to go, then go. If you made your plan, but plan first. Don't just walk out your door. You don't have no idea where you're going to live. Don't just go if you don't even know what bills need to be paid. The best thing to do is sit down and really plan what you're going to do. And then once your plan has been planned out, make your move. Watch the movie Sleeping with the Enemy. She planned her escape down to taking swimming lessons so she could go. And that was an extreme situation of domestic violence. But the idea is there's no situation that you can't plan your way out of. Now, but I don't want to stay any longer. Stop. If you've been in it for 10 years and it's been horrible, what's 5 more months? What's 6 more months? You need time to look at apartments. You need time to be able to figure out how you're going to make it on just your salary, because he may not want to give his. And that's where the legal situation comes. And also, do not be scared to go to court if necessary. I have taken the mothers of my children. You got to read my book when I say mothers of my children. Like I said, I didn't always know the law. I've gone to court 6 times and I have not lost. So that's a fallacy when men go, the courts is sideways against us. They're sideways against fools that's got to get dragged into court because you wasn't trying to do what you were supposed to do to begin with. I wasn't that. I made sure I understood what position I played when I came to court, and I kept my mouth shut. And when I went in, I asked questions. And when I knew I was in a position where there's nothing I could do, no problem, Your Honor. Just tell me what I need to do and I'm going to do it. And so what I also wanted the judge to see what I was dealing with. So that's another thing too. But that's another scope I'm going to do in the future is how to deal with family court. But you may have to put legal things in place because you don't know how deep that person's hurt is, male or female. So the courts might be necessary just to be able to pry the door open to go get your kids. But if you do go that route and the judge says have your kids home at 6 o'clock, have them home at 5:45. If they say pick your kids up at 3 o'clock, be there at 5 minutes to 3. She or he may not open up that door to 3:01. Don't get upset. Just be right there, take your kids, bring them back. And if they're calling too much, you think it's harassment, do not have a problem with going back to the if it goes that route. But I have found that if you can work things out before, then maybe you can fix a lot of this so when your children are with you, then the person will back off and just let you be with your children. But back to the original status here, ladies or gentlemen, and Otis, I don't want you to think I'm excluding the men. Do not allow somebody back into your life until they can show you their trek and what role you play in that. And if you don't like the role that they have for you, don't take it. Be okay with saying, no, I'm going to be alone for a little while. I'm going to take that time to get to know God. I'm going to take that time to get back into the gym. I'm going to take that time to find a new hobby. Whatever it is, take that time to be with yourself. Take that time to understand what's going on. So listen, before I go, I want to say thank you to everyone that's been paying attention, everyone that's watching, that's been joining in. If you're still watching, feel free to throw your email address in on this scope because I would love to get in touch with you and stay in touch with you away from Periscope because I do like to stay in touch with folks. And if you need to reach me and if you have any other questions for me or anything that you just don't want to divulge your personal information here on the scope, you can reach out to me at main office, MAINOFFICE at Bravin, BRAVIN publishing.com. That's the best way to reach me. As well as, I'm on all social networks. Thank you so much. Remember, throw your email addresses up. That way I'll get it when I go back and check the analytics. That way I'll see it and I'll be able to reach out and talk to everyone directly. I am on all social platforms, Facebook, KL Belvin, Google+, KL Belvin, Twitter, KL Belvin. You name it, I'm probably on it. And also, I am available to speak wherever. You let me know, I'll set something up. I've recently moved from New York to Delaware. I'm redoing some things, reworking on some things. I'm rebuilding my platform. I decided to come back and get on here and speak more often. And I'm here to help. I'm here to bring what I know. The title of my book is From Gigolo to Jesus, which is my memoir. Okay, Floyd Mayweather, what's good? From Gigolo to Jesus is my memoir. My latest book, which is fiction, is Lukewarm Saint, which is a story about a teacher torn between his love of the women and what he should do, something I know a little bit about. And I'm proud of both books because one, as nonfiction, is really the truth. It is my life. It is the torrid, nasty, negative things that I went through with trying to figure out who I was. And I did a lot of destructive things to women and myself because I didn't have love for myself and I didn't know God. So as I found myself and as I found my faith, all I could do was offer apologies and just live my life differently. My lovely wife that's sitting right here next to me understands all the dirt because she's the one that wrote the foreword for the book. So when people go, oh my God, what does your woman think about that? She saw it before anybody else did. And she was actually part of the reason that I was able to come out of the darkness that I was in. Because of God and my lovely wife here, I was able to find my way to a platform where now I can come back and help other people. So if you believe that it's something that's helpful, please share it with your friends and on Twitter and followers on your Periscope page. If you need to reach out to me, like I said, please send it via email or just when you see me on the different sites, reach out. I do private counseling if folks need it. We can set up something via Skype, Google Hangout, whichever platform you're comfortable with. But again, feel free to pass this on. And if folks have any questions, concerns, or want to know more, read From Gigolo to Jesus. You can buy a copy from my website, www.bravin, publishing.com, and it'll tell you a lot. It'll explain a lot and how pornography helped push a lot of things into motion. And then from there, not having a father, it was just autopilot. I flew by the seat of my pants like a lot of men. And I didn't know what to be in relationships. I didn't know how to be a father. When you're out here having sex, you're going to make babies. And I didn't know how to be a father. I had to learn how to be all of that. Now, I'm lucky enough that once I got my life together, that I'm young enough to be able to go back and help a lot of brothers that are coming up the way I was. My job now is to offer as much assistance to women as possible to understand who I was. And my daughter's just making KL, say goodbye, mama.
Bye-bye.
Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Say I'm making noise because my daddy's on the phone.
A daddy phone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So again, I hope that this has been pleasurable to you. Again, if I can answer any questions, by all means, reach out because I'm here to help. And I will be on more often. I'll try to be on 2 to 3 times a week. I'm not exactly sure. I'm trying to figure out some times. I'm just trying out some times during the day, in the evening. I'm not sure which one is going to be the most effective. And you can always find my videos if you miss them. I'll post them back on Facebook, or I'll post them on my YouTube page, KL the Writer, KL Belvin. You'll find me on YouTube. So you can always catch up, as well as some of my older Periscope videos and other videos are on YouTube. So I have tons. And again, I am interested in coming to speak wherever, churches, organizations, whatever. I do it on a regular, where need be, because again, it's about the message. So don't worry about, oh my God, we can't afford to pay him. We'll work something out. I always do, because it's more about getting folks the help that's necessary. I even tell folks, buy some of the books. If you can't afford to pay me directly, buy the books and give them out. I'll sign them and we come down and talk about it. Because as an educator, give me a room full of folks, young, old, whatever. I'm going to teach you something. Because it's about the communication. It's about the conversation. It is about addressing the needs of people and being able to offer something that's going to help. I wish you guys well. Again, make sure you check me out. I will talk to you soon. God bless.